Hey, 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 Coach Wheeler here, and today I want to bring to you the important message of being kind. And being kind to people in your circle, the people around you, the people you might know, because you never know the dramas and the strains and the struggles and the pain and the burden and the things they might be carrying. And sometimes a kind word might be the only kind word they receive. You might be the only person that actually speaks to them and takes time to be nice to them. And also sometimes if you feel that you have a little bit of grief or angst or even something that's really bothering you with them, it's like sometimes don't add to their misery. Don't put onto them something they're already carrying. There's a person that I know, and I was talking to a friend of mine about them, and we went to go and see them, and we kind of shared a moment with them, and it was obvious to us that they were going through some heavy stuff they haven't talked about, and stuff they maybe keep to themselves. And even though I know them really well, there's a lot of things I do know about them. I think there's some heavy stuff they're carrying they haven't yet expressed, and they don't necessarily vocalize, and it might be personal to them. And I would never pry, but it was like obvious to us that they were kind of, going through it. And there was a few times that we clashed a little bit and had moments where we had sort of cross words, and I could have got upset. We could have made it into something bigger than it was. And I thought to myself, is it really worth it? And I thought, you know what, it's just not. And then a mutual friend spoke to me and said, don't add to their misery. And it was kind of just something we said in a different conversation about someone else, another person we were talking about. Sounds like we gossip a lot, but we talk about friends and family and people around us, and it just came up, and it made me think about this one particular person. And then speaking to my beautiful lady, we were talking about it, and I said, sometimes it's just not good to add to that person's misery, because you don't know what they're going through. A loss that they might have received, had in the family, some devastating news, something that didn't go their way, a personal thing they're going through, something that happened years ago and they've not dealt with, something they did that they feel guilty for, that felt that they didn't do the right thing and maybe are carrying that burden themselves. But they seem to have this big rucksack of sort of, not misery, but these sort of burdens and these angsts and these pains and these sort of things that they carry with them, that if you add to it, it might crush them, it might flatten them out and just iron them out straight, and then they're just done with. And I think it's the Japanese that say, when you have something to say, make sure it passes through 3 gates. Is it the truth? Is it necessary? And is it kind? First of all, make sure it's the truth and you know what you're talking about and you haven't got your wires crossed and miscommunication. Second of all, is it really necessary? Do you really need to say it? Is it going to change your life? Is it so important that you have to get it out? Or could you just let, sleeping dogs lie and move on? And thirdly, is it kind? Is it really a nice thing to say? Or is it just a little niggle or a dig or a crossword just for the sake of it, or just to make you feel better? Now, that isn't to say that you should carry that burden and carry those things around with you, because if you've got a fair grievance to get off your chest, then get it off your chest. But I'm talking about those times when you never know what people are going through. And it's also worth remembering, you might be the only person that gives them a kind word. You might be the only person that talks to them. You might be the only person that actually cares. And that sometimes in today's society with social media, we're all so busy and we're all so self-absorbed with our phones and our jobs and our lives and all this thing, that we can bypass people. And sometimes it's important to take a minute, be calm, think about being kind. Is it really necessary to add to their load that they might already have that we don't always see? Is it the truth? Is it necessary? And is it kind? It's just a bit of information I wanted to share with you, and just think. And also, if you know someone that you think is struggling, that you know is carrying something, and maybe they've not told you, they don't want to tell you, just give them a call. Call them up and say, hey, what's happening? You want a cup of tea? Do you want to have a chin wag? What's going on, man? Just talk. Just be there for them. And even though you might not be able to help them, they might want to share it. They might not want to share it with you, and they might not want to tell you because they're embarrassed, they're feeling guilty, or it's something they don't know how to talk about. Just be there for them and have a cup of tea and a chat, and that might just ease the load. I hope that helps. Look forward to more useful tips, information. Like, subscribe, tell all your friends, and I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. I'll see you on the other side. Peace.